Hello everybody and welcome. Today is Sunday, April 27th, and I leave on a flight tomorrow morning from Paris to Boston because mostly I'm traveling for a work trip for a conference that'll take place in New York City in a week's time, but I'm also going a week in advance so that I can spend some time with some childhood friends because if you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah. I'm originally from the East Coast, from Connecticut. I grew up there and I moved to France in 2009 and I've been living and working here ever since. And I work in book publishing and I will be going to New York City to meet with American publishers. And I'm so excited because it's sort of like the combination of both worlds. This life that I've created in France and then bringing it to the US and having it correspond with my professional career, the one that I built here. Anyway, it's big for me, but it's hard to explain. So I will be going a week in advance to spend some time with friends. I'll be going to Boston and then to my home state of Connecticut to visit with a friend, and then we are driving up to Vermont to spend a long weekend with a bunch of friends, and I'm so excited. But it's been kind of hard to figure out what I want to pack because I want to bring mostly handmade clothes and I want to be prepared for all the activities and the weather. I'm going for 11 days total. 2 of those days will be spent entirely traveling, so I'll need just one travel outfit, and then I'll need about 9 days of outfits, including 4 activities of hanging out with friends, city visiting, so for Boston and then also New York City, and then some light hiking, probably like walking outside and being comfortable in spring weather, because I saw that the weather is supposed to range vastly from temperatures in the upper 30s to 65 and windy and sort of rainy and cloudy to 80 degrees and super sunny. So it's definitely going to change between, for example, where I am in Vermont and then New York City. I saw, pretty high temperatures in the city last week, so I'll need to pack layers. But I think I've narrowed it down pretty well to what I want to bring, and I'm excited to take you along with me. I figured I would show you a little bit of what I'll be up to, and also I do plan on doing some fabric shopping if I can, when I can. I'm not entirely sure in the first half of the trip if I will, but when I get to New York City, yeah. Anytime I'm not working, I will probably be either book shopping or fabric shopping. So I'm excited to bring you along with me. So without further ado, let me show you what I will be packing. First, for the outfit that I want to wear during my 2 flights is something really, really comfy, and to start, it's these ready-to-wear pair of pants that I bought over 15 years ago and that still serve me pretty well. It is in this double knit fabric, and I just love the way it looks because it's really, really comfortable, it's really stretchy, it doesn't restrict me in any way, but it's not a pair of sweatpants, and so I really love wearing this on flights. And then I'll be pairing that with a black silver Edie top, and because I'm always cold on flights, I'll be layering over that my new seamwork Callan sweater that I made in this wool blend fabric with the bonus sleeves. For bottoms, in addition to the ready-to-wear pants, I will be bringing my dark blue closet core ginger jeans, this Sew Over It Edie skirt that I made last spring in this light blue cotton and elastane blend fabric. It looks pretty snug, but it's actually really comfortable because the elastane makes it stretchy and easy to sit and move around in. This ready-to-wear dark blue pleated skirt that I bought years and years ago and that I absolutely love wearing. And then for sweaters, I'll have my Callan sweater and then also this Tabor V-neck sweater by Sew House 7 that I made recently in this squishy double knit fabric. And then 2 light ready-to-wear cardigans in white and also this light gray. And then this cotton jersey polka dot wrap dress that you have definitely seen before. It's the Vogue 8379 pattern, and I just love wearing it on trips abroad because it's just so easy to pack and throw on. And then for tops, I will be bringing 2 additional Sew Over It Edie tops, and including this one in this textured white fabric, and then also this one in a lighter jersey fabric in this blue and white stripe. And then I'll be bringing 2 Coralie Bigasson Aola tops, including this dark blue one and this white one, both in cotton jerseys. And then this square neck Vanessa Pouzet wanted tee in this black cotton jersey. And then for pajamas, just like I did in London, I'll be bringing this light blue Sew Over It Edie top to wear with these Sew Over It Luna check cotton flannel PJ pants. For outerwear, I'll bring my trusty Isla trench coat that I absolutely love and that's perfect for spring weather. And I'll be pairing it with this silk scarf that used to be my grandma's, and I like wearing it especially when I travel because it feels like it's a talisman and that she's with me while I'm traveling. And then on the day of, I added a few extra things, including this ready-to-wear pair of yoga pants, just in case the hiking in Vermont was a little bit more intense than I originally thought. Also, a ready-to-wear black t-shirt for the hiking as well. An easy to layer, ready to wear black windbreaker that I could also wear on the plane. And then for shoes, I'll be wearing my trusty dark brown Chelsea boots. For casual footwear, I'll be bringing these espadrilles because they're easy to slip on, they're really comfortable, and I prefer them to sneakers. And then for more formal footwear, I'll be bringing these pointed toe black suede ballet flats. And then last but not least, a bathing suit just in case. Hi everybody. It has been about a week since I arrived on the East Coast and I just got to New York City. I've been spending all this time with my friends. I first went to Boston, then Connecticut to see friends, then we went to Vermont for a few days, 4 of us together, and it was lovely. But I didn't really vlog. There will be a sort of chaotic montage either before or after this of what I filmed because it's more personal, it's nothing to do with sewing, and I wanted to enjoy my time with my friends instead of vlog. But I'm now in New York City. I am super soaked. It's raining. It's been raining for about a week now. And I was originally planning, so my hotel is only about a 15-minute drive from the bus terminal, but none of the taxis would take me because I wasn't paying in cash. I went down the line of official New York yellow cabs at the bus station, like 4 people arriving with baggage. And none of them would take me because I wasn't paying in cash, which just seemed really strange. Like, are you all intent on tax evasion? Is that normalized here? Oh my God, I really don't like this city. And this is not just this time. I've had to come here often to go to the French consulate to get a visa to live in France in the first few years when I went to France to live and work. And every single time, I just find this city so cynical and craven. But anyway, I'm very sorry to any New Yorkers out there. I'm sure it gets better with age and time and habit. But yeah, from an outsider point of view, I don't find it very welcoming. And yeah, even if I were to go in and get money out of an ATM. I just didn't feel like, I felt like if they were so intent on tax evasion, then I didn't really trust them to take care of me. You know, like what if they would try and take advantage of me in other ways? So I just walked in the rain. I thought, oh, it's only 20 minutes, but actually you have to stop and wait for the light to turn at every block. And so it took about 40 and I'm soaked. So luckily I was able to check into my hotel about 2 hours early, which is great. I'm here now. I can dry off, calm down. My boots and, well, my shoes are fine, but my coat is soaked, my jeans are soaked, my hair is soaked, so I'm going to dry off, have a coffee, relax a little bit, and then I have flagged some bookstores and fabric shops, including Mood. I especially want to get to Mood because it looks like many, many floors of fabulous fabrics. And I want to do that this afternoon because I have this afternoon to explore before work starts tomorrow. And it looks like it's going to be rainy all day today, all day tomorrow. So I will first be getting myself an umbrella because I did not travel from France with an umbrella. I figured it was a 50-50 chance that it would rain. And maybe not rain so much, but yeah, it's pretty bad here, so I'll be doing that and taking you along with me. Also, while I'm here and before I change, I have not been filming what I've been wearing because I did bring a lot more clothes than these, but I've really only been wearing these clothes because it's been raining the past few days and it's been cold and windy and awful. There were 2 days where it was warm and like 80 degrees and sunny, and I had to pack for both, and so unfortunately I packed a lot of summery clothes, or not summery, but good weather clothes that I'm not using. So especially in Vermont, I was wearing my ginger jeans, Edie tops. I brought a few Edie tops, so I'm not wearing the same ones, and then this Seamwork Callan sweater that I made in this wool, and it's sort of a light wool layer. Oof, let me sit back down. Wool layer that I've been just layering over for warmth. I think I can take that off now, but I'll probably be keeping my jeans on for the rest of the day because it's still raining. It keeps me somewhat warm. And yeah, this is basically all I've been wearing the past few days. I've discovered that I don't have a whole lot of clothes for when I come to the US. When it's a little bit more woodsy and casual, like there's no occasion, or it's just, a dress is just not, it doesn't have a place here, especially when I'm like hanging out with my friends at their houses in the woods, you know, like there's no reason to wear a nice dress or skirt. So I think I need to invest time and thought and effort into making more than one pair of jeans because these are great, but they are ginger jeans and they're the tight leg, and they are elastic, but they're super tight. And they're dark blue, so they're a little bit more formal. I think I'd like other colors. So yeah, I'll be thinking about that. I don't come here very often, but when I do, I feel like I'm not properly equipped. So to keep in mind. everybody. So I am now home. It's been a few days now, and I was in the north of France just yesterday for the weekend for a wedding. And I do think that the wedding festivities late into the night set my jet lag back a bit. I am very tired. But I wanted to kind of resume what happened during the trip since I didn't speak to the camera very much after getting to New York. It went really, really well, despite the weather and despite the hustle and bustle of New York City. It's still a very impressive city, and I'm glad to have been able to go. And then the event that I was attending took place in the Villa Albertine, which is a historic house in the Upper East Side, right next to Central Park, and it belongs to the French Embassy. And how cool was that? That was a really cool building. And my meetings went well, and I got to visit lots and lots of bookstores. I did go to Mood, and as you may have seen, I didn't buy anything because I think I was a little bit overwhelmed. There was so much fabric and so much to choose from and so many cool fiber combinations that I was, overwhelmed. There's no internet connection within the building, and so I wasn't able to access my I keep all of my patterns filed away on Trello on an app on my phone and my laptop, and therefore I can kind of pick out. And I don't like buying fabric if I don't already have an idea of a project for it, and if I don't have access to my patterns, I kind of felt stuck on the spot, like, it's so beautiful, but what am I going to do with it? And I did have in the back of my mind that I'd already spent a lot of money, and I already have a lot of fabric and a lot of projects waiting for me at home, and so I did decide to not buy anything while I was there, but it's really, really cool. And I think that next time I'll probably do some online shopping in advance just to get an idea of what they have and maybe order something so that it's waiting for me wherever I'm staying next time, because they have such a huge selection. It's sort of the sort of store that you would go to if you already have an idea of the project you want to make, and then you need very specific fabric. There are just so many fabrics to choose from. Also, I was hungry and I didn't have a whole lot of time, and you do need to get an assistant to help you take down the rolls and cut them, and I just wanted to browse. I just wanted to see it, and I did, and that was cool, so I'm glad I was able to go. But I didn't actually have a whole lot of time to explore outside of work, and so I did manage to see a few bookstores while I was in New York. I got to go to the Strand and Rizzoli, and then the Corner Bookstore, which is an independent bookstore on the Upper East Side. Yeah, that was really, really cool. So I wanted to show you some of the things that I purchased, because even if I didn't purchase any fabric, I did purchase some sewing things. When I was in Vermont with my friends, we did manage to get to Brattleboro, and we went to Wonderland Yarns. This place, they gave me this so that I'd remember them. And I didn't buy any yarn because I also have many, many yarn or knitting projects waiting for me, and I knit so slowly that I already have about 12 months of knitting projects waiting for me. But I did find this really, really cute embroidery kit with this little snail and mushrooms. And it's for beginner embroiderers, as you learn a few of the beginner stitches, and I thought that'd be really cute and fun to work on. And then I also got some whimsical looking embroidery scissors and this thread cutter that you can put around your neck. And then also I got these two unicorn blockers for my needles, or knitting needle blockers, because I don't have any yet, and I usually use elastic bands, and these are much nicer than elastic bands. But other than that, I didn't buy any other sewing specific things on my trip. I did buy some books, and let me show you the books that I bought, because I did a good amount of book shopping while I was there. This was definitely much more of a bookish trip than a sewing trip, but I think that's okay. I didn't really record the outfits that I was wearing, mostly because I was wearing the same ones, like I said, when I arrived in New York. But also, it was just a very busy trip, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to share, but I hope it was interesting anyway. And I did buy a lot of books. So some of these, I was just intrigued. I won't go into detail because this isn't a book channel. But this one, for example, caught my eye. It's Intimacies by Katie Kitamura. I've been watching it for a while, sort of since it published, and I've been intrigued, and so I want to try it out. I don't really know what it's about. I also purchased Time as a Mother, which is a book of poetry by Ocean Vuong. I really liked his book On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. There were a few parts that I found very abstract and difficult to follow, but on a whole I really liked that one, so I was curious to see, and this one was on sale, so I got the hardcover, small hardcover version of this, and I'm excited to try it out. I don't read a lot of poetry, and so I'm curious. This one is actually an author that I read during university. I read The Death of the Heart by Elizabeth Wowen. in a modern British literature class that I took that I absolutely loved. It was one of my favorite classes during my literature major in university, and this one looks interesting too, very much about relationships and the way people live their lives, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I just saw this author and I've been really curious about reading her again, reading The Death of the Heart again, and so I picked this one up. Then, with my book club with some of my childhood friends, we were reading Pride and Prejudice because this is a big year for Jane Austen and there are a lot of celebrations going on. I can't remember which year it is, like 150 I think, since her birth. I'm not sure, I'll have to look it up. But I did get the cloth-bound classic version of Pride and Prejudice. I usually listen to it because I prefer listening to the audiobook, but I thought it'd be nice to have a nice edition of this book since I've read it multiple times and I do want it to live in my library. And then my last book purchase was Goodnight Moon. I have a friend who's expecting her first baby who lives in France as well, in Paris, like me, and who's from the US. And she's expecting her first baby in just a few weeks, and I wanted to offer this to her because it's a classic and I think we all sort of grew up with this one. And the only versions I could find in France were paper versions and not the cardboard, like very small child versions. And I really wanted the cardboard edition so that she can start reading it to her baby even when they're very, very small and grabby. And I hope that I'll be able to see her and give this to her before she sees this video. But yeah, I thought I really wanted to pick this up for her too, and so I did. And then before I left, I picked up a few baking essentials, namely molasses. It's getting harder and harder to find molasses, like this kind of American brand molasses, because in France they have molasses, but they don't have the unsulfurized kind, and I was looking for it for such a long time last holiday season because there's a few recipes that I make that involve molasses, and so I picked up 2 of these, and then also Libby's pumpkin puree because I do know how to make my own puree, but it takes hours and it's not so much better than this, so I picked up 2 of these as well. For some reason it's getting much, much harder to find these in France, and even before the new year it's just been, yeah, very, very hard, so I picked those up. And then something random is I absolutely love cinnamon, like many fellow Americans, and so I picked up some cinnamon gum because the French are very strange about cinnamon. Some like it, but most don't, and it's not really a thing in French baking, and so cinnamon gum does not exist here, or at least it's very, very hard to find. And yeah, my husband thinks it's gross, but I love it, and so I picked up some cinnamon gum too. And those are the staples that I get when I go to the United States. I'm sure there are others that I could have picked up as well, but I was all alone with my baggage, so I didn't want to weigh it down too much. And that's everything I got. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I got up to, what I was wearing, or at least what I packed to go to the Northeast and to New York. I've been thinking that my wardrobe for traveling is somewhat limited, especially when I go to the US. I think that I don't have a lot of casual clothes that are great for all weather and outdoor activities. I'd like to make at least one other pair of jeans, for example, or have at least one other comfortable pair of pants that I can wear when I'm lounging. And so I'm going to be thinking about what I can make in the coming months, because I do travel often, at least 2 or 3 times a year, and yeah, I do also go to the US to see my family and friends about once every 12 to 18 months, and so it would be practical in my wardrobe. So if you have any recommendations of sewing patterns you would recommend that are great for travel and very versatile, or just garments in general, like a type of garment, then don't hesitate to leave that in the comments below. I will be looking. And so yeah, I think I'll end this vlog here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was interesting to you, and I hope you're all doing well. I will see you again here with a new video very soon. Take care, and bye-bye.